Yo guys, what is going on? JPS back with another video, and today we're going to be reacting to Yorkshire pudding, a different kind of pudding, not black pudding, Yorkshire pudding. This is the second pudding I've reacted to, and it's saying roast beef fat pastry. So listen guys, I looked up Yorkshire pudding because I was curious as to what it looks like, and I was like, this is a cake, this is a pastry, it's got to be sweet. But then I read the title of this video and it says roast beef fat pastry. So I'm thinking, like, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, wow, I keep getting led on by these puddings, thinking they're going to be sweet, but they're not sweet. But we'll see what it looks like, and let's see if it looks good. But anyways, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new here. And yeah, when I visit the UK, let's see if I'm going to try Yorkshire pudding. I've already decided, by the way, that I'm definitely going to have to try that black pudding. I'm curious to see what it tastes like. It seems so unique to... I gotta try that. But anyways, let's get right into it. Let's see if this will be on our taste testing list.
From foodwishes.com with Yorkshire pudding. That's right, as a child growing up, I loved pudding. So it was a little bit of a shock to me when I came across Yorkshire pudding, mostly because it wasn't pudding. But then I learned how the British people call almost everything pudding, including sometimes even actual pudding. But anyway, while not the sweet dessert it might sound like, this savory pastry cooked in rendered beef fat is incredibly delicious and
so good.
Super simple to make. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with a very basic batter.
Hold on, y'all. So he said it's super simple to make. Should I try and make it? It won't be like the beans on toast, I promise. I'm trying to make an English breakfast and maybe this. Let's see how hard it is.
So with that, let's go ahead and get started with a very basic batter, which will begin with 4 large eggs.
Okay.
And what we'll do here is toss in a nice big pinch of salt, and then whisk these vigorously for a few minutes until we have something that's light in color and very frothy, and hopefully looking a little something like this. And then what we'll do once that's been accomplished is stop and add our flour.
How much?
Just regular all-purpose flour, plus some whole milk.
How much flour, bro?
And then we will continue whisking
until
the mixture is extremely smooth and lump-free.
Okay.
And yes, you can definitely use a blender for this, but then you'll have to clean it. Plus, you don't get the exercise from stirring manually, which according to my calculations will burn as many calories as one of these Yorkshire puddings contains. Although I should mention I'm basing that on no facts or actual studies or tests, but simply on feelings, which apparently these days is all you need. But either way, like I said, we're going to mix this until completely...
When I visit the UK, I want to try Yorkshire pudding. I'm not sure which pudding I'm going to try, but I'd like to try this one. That's how he's talking. No hate. I mean, he seems cool, but that's how he's talking.
These days is all you need. But either way, like I said, we're going to mix this.
I've never heard someone talk like this.
Lump-free. And what you should be ending up with is a very, very thin batter that will just barely coat the back of a spoon. And by the way, if you do this and you see little chunks of flour on the back of the spoon, keep whisking. Okay. And that's it. Once our batter is done, we can go ahead and transfer that into some kind of pourable container. At which point we have a little bit of controversy. Okay, some folks say you can use this straight away, while others insist it must be refrigerated before you use it.
Let me know.
Which I think is probably not a bad idea. Although, truth be told, I have tried it both ways and didn't notice a huge difference. And then once that's set, we can move on to the next step, which is to cook a prime rib, or any kind of fatty beef for that matter, since traditionally it's these drippings in which we cook our Yorkshire pudding. And what I did was strain that into a bowl. And once refrigerated, it's going to look like this. All right, very light in color and quite hard and firm. And then if we're not using it fresh right after we roast our beef, what we'll have to do is go ahead and warm this up, which I did in the microwave, to get it back to its liquefied form. At which point we can use that in whatever pan we're going to use for this. Which for me is just going to be this basic muffin tin. And how much exactly depends on who you talk to. All right, some people think like a teaspoon's fine, while others will fill this like a quarter of the way up.
Damn.
All right, personally, I go with about a tablespoon, but suit yourself.
I'll fill it halfway up.
After all the mojo of which way to go. But I will say that the more fat you use, the more flavorful these are. Not to mention the exteriors are going to get a little crispier. And then besides just spooning some of that in, we will also take our finger and grease the sides and top as well. Which reminds me, try to use a non-stick muffin pan for this. Okay, I actually don't have one, and I'm not sure why. But the non-stick are a little safer, as these can tend to stick a little bit at the bottom.
This guy is hilarious.
Although it's usually not too bad. and you can fairly easily pry them out. But I thought I'd mention it anyway, just in case you haven't. And then what we'll do as soon as those are greased is go ahead and transfer those into the center of a 400-degree oven for about 10 to 15 minutes, or until our rendered beef fat is smoking hot. And no, we didn't forget to put the batter. Right, one of the secrets to Yorkshire pudding is to add the batter into the really hot fat.
Oh, shoot.
So as soon as that comes out, we'll go ahead and pour our batter in.
That looks kind of fire. It's like a fry. Possible, by the way. Frying it.
Which is why I'm not going to have time to change the camera angle. And we're going to fill these just about past halfway. And then once those are filled, we'll go ahead and add whatever else we have left and distribute it here and there wherever we think it's needed.
This joint looks good.
But don't take too long, like I'm doing here, because we really do want to get these back in the oven as soon as we can, which is the last and final step. So once those are set, we'll go ahead and transfer those back into the center of our 400-degree oven for about 25 minutes or so, or until beautifully browned and extremely puffed. At which point we'll immediately take a knife and poke a hole in the top of each one to release the steam. Okay, some of them are going to form a natural vent, but for the ones we don't, we will make sure we poke a hole to release the steam. Otherwise, what will happen is these cool, as a vacuum will form, and they will kind of get sucked in and shrunken down. Which they will sort of anyway, but by poking that hole and releasing the steam, they will not collapse as much. And that's it. We're going to want to serve these as soon as we can. And I'll go ahead and taste one of the smaller, less impressive looking ones that did, as predicted, stick a little bit at the bottom. And by the way, if you use a spoon, you could get that loose in like 2 seconds. But if you want it to take much longer, go ahead and use the point of a small knife. But anyway, I got it loose and tore in for a taste. And these really do have such an interesting texture, since the outside is kind of crusty and crispy, while the inside stays more tender and custardy. And yes, this was way too hot to eat, but I did it anyway. And you really do want to serve these as fast as you can. Okay, traditionally right next to your meat, smothered in whatever gravy or sauce you're using.
Gravy.
Which, because I'm doing this on a different day, I did not have, but wish I did. But anyway, I went ahead and tossed those in a basket so I could take some pictures. Of course, placing the best looking ones on top. And then went in for another taste, because even plain, these are very, very good. So that is your basic Yorkshire pudding cooked in a muffin tin. But if you want, you could do the exact same procedure, but use a larger popover pan like this, with twice as much batter in it, which will give us the same product, only much larger and more impressive looking. So if you do have one of these popover pans, that's a great way to go. Oh, and by the way, just for fun, I ended up cooking one more batch in the popover pan, but I did not poke the holes to release the steam. And as you can see, after just a few minutes, that vacuum created inside the pool pulls everything inward into a much denser, more compact pudding. Okay, it's sort of similar, I guess, to what happens in space with a black hole, or as they call it in Britain, black pudding. But anyway, just a little bonus footage.
That's funny.
In case that happens to you. And it really won't affect the flavor. You'll just lose that beautiful cavity inside. Speaking of which, if you have any of these things left over, especially the bigger versions, they are perfect to open up and fill with some kind of beautiful meat salad. In my case, some cubed up leftover prime rib that I dressed with some mayonnaise and sour cream and horseradish and chive and black pepper and a pinch of salt. And there was one other thing. Oh yeah, a touch of cayenne. And I went ahead and finished that off with a little black pepper. And that, my friends, was just a magnificent sandwich-like experience. And by sandwich, I think I mean pudding. But anyway, that's it. My take on Yorkshire pudding. Whether you're roasting a prime rib for the holidays and want to give these a try with the rendered fat, or do them with some kind of equally delicious fat.
All right, bro. Well, yo, honestly, I gotta say this first. I'm not trying to poke fun at him. I mean, I am, but I'm not trying to be mean. That was actually a good video. He's a good cook. I mean, those look fire, especially right here. Wait, the big ones? Look at that. Man, I just want to reach through my computer screen and grab it and go. But yeah, let me know if I should try these out. It didn't seem too hard. I don't know. I feel like I could do that, right? Then again, I can't even make beans on toast. But yeah, let me know if you found the way he speaks funny. I mean, that's just how he speaks for the video. And there was a lot of irony and sarcasm in some of the things he was saying, so he's probably doing it as a joke. But I thought it was pretty funny and still an informative video nonetheless. So that was a good video. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys are fans of Yorkshire pudding. Also, I think I saw online somewhere that it's a versatile thing because people put multiple things in them. Like I saw one where people were putting fruits in it and someone was putting mushrooms in it. So let me know what the tradition is where you're from, or if Yorkshire pudding is like traditional to the area in the UK that you're from. But yeah, other than that, guys, thanks so much for all the support. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.